Okay, one more, not one more, but another hands-on exercise. But this one you're going to do with me. Okay, so like I said before, we don't have to, usually you will see multiple lines in the body of a for loop, right? In that block of code. So we're going to, I've written some code that has multiple lines in it, but it's all things that we have done and seen. But what I want you to do is, I want you to read, the first thing that you need to know is that the code contains errors. This is something also that is very important for a programmer to do. You need to be able to read other people's code and start small. But we're going to read my code, and the first thing I want you to do is just to read it to make sure that you understand what it's going to do. Okay? Don't look for errors. Just try and see if you know what I instructed my code to do. Then the second time around, so you're first going to answer that. If any of you do not understand the line, first let me know. Then the second time around, we're going to go and we're going to see, okay, line by line, do I spot any errors? So there are two ways to do it. You could either look at it and fix whatever errors you can see, or you can just run the code straight from the start and let Python tell you, because it will normally go from start to end telling you, or whatever the most pertinent errors are, it's going to start with that and you're going to fix it as you go along. So you print, you fix something, you print it, you fix something else, you print it. There are two ways to do it. So look at this code. There you've got your list. You've got a for loop initiating, and you're giving it some instructions. So just read through it first and see if you understand what you think I wanted to do. Okay. So you guys can switch on your microphones if you want, and just let me know if there's any line that you were unsure of. Let me just, there's something in the chat box.
Yes, it's my message in the chat box.
Okay, fine. No problem. Thanks, Abiola.
You're welcome.
Thanks for letting us know.
I think in this exercise, let me just quickly speak before I take my leave. I think in the exercise, you wrote a code to create an empty list. Then you put in species in the list, and then you want, for animals in the species, you want the length, like of the length of animals, perhaps how many animals are there in your list of species. Then you want the code to print first. Animal is not a computer, so it will go round and round and say, so animal is not a computer. And then the next one is going to print animal has a length of so number. And then the eagle one is what I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. But I think for the animal in species, that's what I can understand from it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the attempt, Abiola. Okay, so yes, firstly, here we did not create an empty list. Okay, this is a list that is already populated. So we went from scratch and we populated it with something. If this was an empty list, it would just look like that, and we would have populated it with .append or something. Okay, so there's no empty list. You recognize an empty list by two brackets with nothing inside. So yes, you are correct. Here we go. For animal in species, so again, it's initializing animal as a variable that's going to store the information, right? So it's saying animal, go around the list, and the first thing you want to do is you're going to store for me human, then you go around the list again, and then you store fish, and you go again and you store the other human, and so we go on until you get to eagle. Okay, then it's saying print the length of animal. Now this is the length of this, so in this case it should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, 5 in this case, because the lengthing comes from 1. And it's going to store it in the variable named length animal or len animal. Then it's going to do, so this is all doing it to the same thing, right? So it's still on this first one, human. Remember, it only takes on the next one after it gets to the end. So with human, it's going to go for human in species, length animal is equal to the length of human, because animal still contains human. Then it's going to say print human is not a computer. Then print human has a length of, and then this length that we've stored here, the length of human. Then it's going to go is eagle in species, that last time we did, store that in answer eagle, and then print that boolean that it gets. Once it's done here, it's going to go, oh, but I'm not done because I'm only on the first one, so I need to go back up here, and now I'm going to store fish in me, and I'm going to answer all of this for fish. And it goes like that till it gets to the end. But there are a few errors in here. The first one is that this here is a slicing thing, but there's nothing in there. Okay, so we can either remove that, or we'll have to say what it's going to slice. So for now, let's pretend that we're going to remove that. Okay. Then the second one, len animal is equal to len animal. Doesn't seem to be anything wrong there. The third one, can anybody tell me what could possibly be wrong with the third one?
Does it not need to be 4 spaces?
Yes.
It looks like a space.
It's supposed to be 4, and this is 5 spaces. So this needs to be corrected so that it's in line with that. Then over here, like I said, some of this code is not wrong, but it's redundant. So remember when we did, I don't know if you do remember, but it's a while ago, when I said when you print and you put commas there, then you don't need to convert anything to anything else. It's able to print all of them next to each other if you separate it by commas. It's only when you add concatenation or something that you need to make sure, because you can't concatenate because this is going to be a number, the length. You can't concatenate a number to a string. So in actual fact, you don't need to, it's not going to give an error, but you don't need all of this in there for that to work. Okay, now, but there's another error with this one. And I think you might have just seen it when I removed that. What's the other error with this line?
Do you need to include the str?
No. So that's what I said, this str doesn't need to be there, because when you use commas, then it automatically makes sure that they can all, so the commas takes care of the different, only in printing, in print statements, using the comma to separate different data types allows you to type the data types, to print it out together without an error. If you use a plus, then you would have had to convert this number to a string. But there's something else wrong with that. But we'll see maybe when we do the error codes, okay? Then this one here, what's wrong here?
Like you just used in, can you do that?
Yes.
Like
I said, you can say, you're supposed to say something in something, there's no is, but there's something that's usually a very, again, you think it's something that you got down, but it's something that's a very common error. It's here. Can you see it? It's not surrounded by quotes.
all right, okay.
Yeah, very small, but now the last one is maybe a little bit, again, it's not a mistake. So I'm going to return all of this to what it was so that this stays for in the notebook when you guys use it. But so, yes, the first one is, this is there, but there's nothing inside. The second one was an indentation error, which we've covered that. And then this one is this str is redundant, but the other one is there's a comma missing. Sorry, a bracket missing here, because this belongs to this, but this isn't closed.
All right, okay, I see.
Another common error. And then eagle must be surrounded by quotes. So if you look at it, it should look, this is all fixed up now, okay? I've removed the str, so here we don't need to put another bracket, but if the str had to be in there like that, then you would have had to put another bracket around it, okay? But like I said, when you're using print with commas, you don't need it. So this is fine. Everything should work now. If you had printed this from the start, it would first tell you line by line from the top, oh, okay, this is a problem, so you remove that. Then it tells you, okay, this is a problem now, indentation error, and so you go on. So you could fix it as is. So now, once you got to the end of it, it would look like this. Everything's working, but I want you to notice something. So everything is working here, but you've got this answer for this one being printed over and over again, and it's not necessary. You just wanted this answer once, but that's because you put this question in the loop, and it doesn't need to be in there. So you can actually just take this print statement out of the loop and just print it all the way at the end, because you just want this answered once.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
This is where things start to get slightly more tricky when you start to use loops and things, because sometimes you're not sure where to put the print statement, and with this stuff you're going to have to practice a bit. But it's just to show you what a difference just where you put the print statement makes. Again, I'm just introducing it a little bit at a time so that you can see some of the common errors.